If you want to map the future of global wealth, look past the stock charts. The real economy is defined by daily, structural anxieties about housing, job security, and elder care. For decades, global growth relied on a very specific formula. The world ran on low-cost labor pools, zero-interest capital, and supply chains optimized entirely for speed and price. Frictionless globalization has hit its limit. Rapidly aging populations are shrinking the labor force. Rising sovereign debt makes capital expensive. Shifting weather patterns and strategic geopolitical rivalries force governments to prioritize supply chain resilience over pure cost efficiency. Global wealth now flows to whoever controls the absolute physical bottlenecks of human survival: compute, electricity grids, mineral refining, and care capacity. Software alone cannot bypass these constraints. This chart maps projected global GDP through 2050. The top line shows the world economy is likely to double in size over the next 25 years. Beneath that broad expansion, the growth fractures into a highly uneven spread across different regions. Look at the downward pressure points emerging on these regional lines. Demographics dictate that mature economies are rapidly aging out of their prime workforce years. Sovereign debt loads restrict public spending. Entire trade routes are being actively rewired to meet national security demands. Economic expansion is no longer a default setting. It is a highly contested prize, awarded exclusively to the regions that secure the hard infrastructure required to push past these frictions. For most people, this macroeconomic shift shows up first at work. According to the ILO, 1 in 4 workers globally are in roles exposed to generative AI, software systems capable of creating text, code, and media on demand. That exposure points to aggressive job redesign rather than immediate mass unemployment. Routine clerical tasks, repetitive back-office coordination, and entry-level screen work face severe wage and hiring compression. Conversely, the market premium rises for hands-on skilled trades, complex logistics operations, and the human supervision of automated systems. Outside of work, the squeeze hits everyday bills. Electricity, water, and indoor cooling are shedding their status as background utilities. In a hotter, more urbanized world, they are highly contested strategic assets. Cities that maintain reliable grids, affordable climate control, and seamless digital public infrastructure attract talent and capital. Cities that fail to deliver these basic needs experience spiking living costs and political fragility. Keeping the lights on and the buildings cool is a hard economic prerequisite. A city cannot compete globally without securing these physical basics. This system diagram breaks down what we actually mean when we talk about the cloud. Artificial intelligence rests on a physical, heavy industrial stack of server halls, advanced cooling systems, and specialized silicon. Following the power lines outward reveals the true constraint. The International Energy Agency projects global electricity demand from data centers will reach nearly 945 terawatt-hours by 2030. That scale of demand competes directly with the broader push to electrify transportation and heating. It places immense, unavoidable stress on copper supplies and aging transmission grids. The most reliable profit pools are shifting down into the hard layer beneath the software. High-capacity battery gigafactories, grid transformers, and critical mineral processing facilities capture the economic leverage that used to belong to consumer apps. At the end of the supply chain, industrial robotics solve 2 math problems at once. They bridge severe shortages in skilled manufacturing labor, and they fulfill the political mandate to rebuild critical supply chains on domestic soil. Maintaining this digital frontier requires a physical expansion of the global energy grid to meet the projected doubling of data center demand. Human physical vulnerability is driving entirely different sectors. By 2050, the WHO projects the global population over age 60 will hit 2.1 billion. Global aging is one of the largest structural growth markets on Earth. This demographic shift translates into massive, durable demand for chronic disease management, advanced diagnostic labs, senior mobility robotics, and a vast expansion of specialized care labor. The other major driver of guaranteed demand is national security. International conflict dictates the price of shipping containers, the availability of microchips, and the cost of grain, pushing localized inflation up and disrupting global supply lines. Security comes with brutal financial trade-offs. Governments must divert hundreds of billions of dollars away from social services, pouring those funds into domestic drone manufacturing, critical supply stockpiles, and cyber-resilient systems. Whether a nation is securing its borders or caring for its oldest citizens, the industries tasked with mitigating human vulnerability sit on the most unshakable economic profit pools of the next quarter century. We can map out exactly who loses pricing power in this environment. Businesses built entirely on cheap labor arbitrage, obsolete internal combustion supply chains, and highly manual, paper-heavy administration face a steep, irreversible decline in relevance. The U.S. cements its position as the primary capital and AI hub. China remains a massive manufacturing superpower. India shows immense demographic upside. Southeast Asia and the Gulf become crucial logistics and energy hubs. Africa remains a wildcard, requiring massive infrastructure leaps to harness its population growth. Across the globe, wealth concentrates around these geographic and infrastructural choke points, rewarding the nations that dictate the physical flow of goods, power, and compute. At the ground level, the daily experience of this economy feels remarkably intimate. While the macro systems become intensely physical and contested, the average person navigates them through spatial computing, ambient voice agents, and highly personalized digital interfaces. Generative media and tailored entertainment provide a seamless, highly convenient layer of digital interaction. That frictionless digital experience sits directly on top of a physical world that is growing more fragmented, expensive, and difficult to traverse. By 2050, the true measure of economic success for a citizen comes down to a few basic realities. Is your daily work gaining value, or is it becoming precarious? Can you comfortably afford housing, reliable power, and indoor cooling? And does your country control enough infrastructure to keep you secure? Stability in 2050 depends on controlling the physical infrastructure that keeps ordinary life running. That is what it means to win the future economy.